What if I told you that you're probably never going to become a billionaire? Not because you're lazy, not because you're not smart enough, and not even because you don't work hard enough. Simply because the math is against you. Yet every single day, the internet tells you the exact opposite. You open TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, and there's another story. A teenager builds an app and sells it for hundreds of millions. A 25-year-old buys Bitcoin at the perfect time. Someone drops out of college, starts a company, and now flies around in a private jet. After watching enough of these stories, it's easy to think, if they did it, why can't I? It's an incredibly tempting idea. There's just one problem. You're only seeing the winners. Imagine a lottery with 100 million people playing. The next day, every news channel interviews the one person who won. They're smiling. They're celebrating. They say they always believed in themselves and never gave up. What you don't see are the other people who also believed in themselves and still lost. This is called survivorship bias. We study the people who made it and try to copy their path while completely ignoring the millions who did almost exactly the same thing and never achieved extraordinary success. That doesn't mean hard work is useless. It means hard work alone doesn't guarantee the outcome. There's something else most people completely misunderstand. Scale. $1 million sounds like an unbelievable amount of money. For most people, earning $1 million would completely change their lives. But $1 billion is so enormous that our brains struggle to comprehend it. 1 million seconds is about 12 days. 1 billion seconds is more than 31 years. That's not just 3 extra zeros. That's an entirely different universe. That's why most millionaires will never become billionaires. Because getting from 1 million to 1 billion isn't about doing the same thing better. It's about playing a completely different game. And that brings us to the biggest myth of all. Work hard, and you'll become rich. Really? Then why aren't the people with the hardest jobs the richest people on earth? Why isn't the nurse working overnight shifts a billionaire? Why isn't the construction worker, the miner, the farmer? Because wealth isn't determined by effort alone. It's determined by value that can be multiplied. If you sell your time, there's always a limit. A day only has 24 hours. No matter how hardworking you are, you can't work 100 hours in a single day. Billionaires don't sell time. They own. They own businesses. They own equity. They own patents. They own software. They own brands. They create something once, and millions of people can use it at the same time. That's what creates massive wealth. Take Amazon. Jeff Bezos didn't personally pack every package. Facebook didn't become a global giant because Mark Zuckerberg spent 20 years coding 24 hours a day. Their companies grew because they could serve millions and eventually billions of people simultaneously. That's the difference between earning money and building a system that earns money. But even that isn't enough, because there's something the internet rarely wants to talk about. Luck matters. A lot. Imagine 2 people. They're equally intelligent. They work equally hard. They have almost the exact same idea. One launches an app in 2005. The other launches nearly the same app in 2025. Do they have the same chance of success? Of course not. The market changed. Technology changed. Competition changed. Sometimes success comes down to timing. Sometimes just a few months, or even a few weeks. You don't control that. That doesn't mean success is random. It means randomness often determines the size of success. There's another thing. Most billionaires didn't build their companies entirely on their own. They had investors, co-founders, top engineers, world-class lawyers, experienced advisors, access to enormous amounts of capital. That doesn't take away from what they achieved. It simply reminds us that success is rarely a one-person story. The internet loves the myth of the lone genius. Reality is much more complicated. Now here's the most important question. If the odds of becoming a billionaire are so small, is it even worth trying? I think the answer is yes. But not because you should chase $1 billion. Because an incredible life is much closer than you think. You can build a successful business. You can invest wisely. You can develop valuable skills. You can steadily increase your income. You can achieve financial freedom. You can work less and live more. Those goals are actually attainable. And for most people, they'll bring far more happiness than spending a lifetime chasing billionaire status. The real problem is that the internet has completely distorted our definition of success. Not that long ago, success meant owning a home, having a stable career, raising a healthy family, taking vacations without worrying about money. Today, if you don't own a private jet, a $500,000 watch, and a mansion the size of a hotel, someone will convince you that you're average. That's ridiculous. Success shouldn't be a competition. It's not about having more than your neighbor or more than someone on Instagram. It's about having enough. And enough looks different for everyone. Maybe it's owning your own business. Maybe it's traveling the world. Maybe it's working 4 days a week. Maybe it's spending more time with your family. Or maybe it's simply going to bed without worrying about paying next month's bills. Here's the irony. Many billionaires keep working 12 or 14 hours a day even after making their first billion. Because at that point, the game is no longer about money. It's about influence, power, legacy, being number one, which proves something important. Even $1 billion isn't enough to make some people feel like they have enough. So instead of asking, how do I become a billionaire? Ask yourself a different question. How do I build a life where money solves my problems without becoming the purpose of my life? How do I build a life where money solves my problems instead of becoming my entire purpose? Because if you wake up excited about what you do, if you have time for the people you love, if you don't lose sleep over bills, if you can travel, if you control your own time, then by most people's standards, you're already rich. Maybe not according to Forbes, but according to the only standard that truly matters, your own.